Hello, my name is Melissa Grantham, and today I'll be going over two theories of cognitive development for Dr. Lewis's class in educational psychology. My goal is to compare and contrast the cognitive development theories of Jean Piaget and Lev Vygotsky. First, we need to know the definitions for development and cognition. Of course, cognition refers to the mental process of thinking, and development refers to how people grow, adapt, and change over the course of their lifetimes, through personality development, socio-emotional development, language development, and of course the one we're addressing today, cognitive development. There are two main issues of cognitive development that have been debated among decades. And those are, the first one is nature-nurture controversy. It asks the question, is development predetermined at birth by heredity and biological factors, or is it affected by experience and other environmental factors? Today, most developmental psychologists believe that nature and nurture combine to influence development, with biological factors playing a stronger role in some aspects, such as physical development. The second topic of debate has been the continuous and discontinuous stages. Continuous theories of development, such as information processing models, assume that development occurs in a smooth progression as skills develop and experiences are provided by caregivers and the environment. Discontinuous theories, on the other hand, focused on inborn factors rather than environmental influences to explain changes over time. This perspective assumes that children progress through a set of predictable and invariant stages of development, and that they are all needed by children to occur in the same sequence. Of course, we've all heard of the most influential developmental psychologist in history, which is Jean Piaget. He was born in Switzerland in 1896, and the main aspect of his theory is that knowledge comes from action. He stated that development depends largely on a child's manipulation of and active interaction with the environment. He believed that a child's intellect or cognitive abilities progress through four distinct stages. The first being sensory motor, which occurs at birth and lasts until approximately 2 years, where babies and toddlers use their senses and motor skills to explore the world. Now, reflexes, which are inborn behaviors, gradually progress as their age progresses and their maturity level. The concept of object permanence, or understanding that an object is still there even though it cannot be seen at the time, is a hallmark of this stage. Next is the preoperational stage, which usually occurs at 2 years and lasts till around the age of 7. Children have a greater ability to think about things and use symbols to represent objects. Thinking remains egocentric or self-centered, and Piaget discovered that children lack an understanding of conservation, which is a concept that properties of an object, such as weight, remain the same regardless of change in other properties such as height. Remember, he used the example of pouring the water from a taller beaker into a shorter beaker. The next concept, centration, is the tendency to pay attention to only one aspect of an object or situation. The next stage is concrete operational. It usually occurs between the ages of 7 and 11 for children. This stage illustrates improvement in ability to think logically. New abilities include the use of operations that are reversible or that can be changed. Thinking is decentered, and problem solving is less restricted by being egocentric, which is exactly what it sounds like, thinking that everyone in the world sees the world as you do. Children develop logical reason and understanding in this stage, and inferred reality, or the ability to see things in other contexts, seriation, which means arranging things in a logical progression, and transivity, which is an ability that is acquired by children to master a skill or mentally arrange and compare objects, all occur in this phase or stage, but abstract thinking is still not yet possible. Until this stage, formal operation, which usually occurs with the onset of puberty, or they say ages 11 through adulthood, where the onset of puberty, as I said, and other adult characteristics come into play, and abstract and symbolic thinking occur and is refined with progression. Problems can be solved through the use of systematic experimentation, and hypothetical situations can be handled more easily as the ability to reason is developed and progression is made. Now we come to Vygotsky. His two ideas are the following. He proposed that intellectual development can be understood in terms of the historical and cultural contexts children experience in 3 distinct stages. He believed that development depends on the sign systems that individuals grow up with, or the symbols that cultures create to help people think, communicate, and solve problems. This is each culture's language, their writing systems, and their counting systems. Self-regulation develops as a child internalizes these signs and becomes able to think and problem solve without the help of others, and it occurs naturally in these 3 stages. Number 1, language acquisition, which involves learning and actions and sounds that have meaning. Number 2 is practice of these internal structures. And the third and final step is the use of these signs to think and problem solve, resulting in the goal of self-regulation. Now, with both these 2 theories, they have few similarities and differences that are significant and noteworthy. So first we'll talk about the similarities, and that both theories are founded on the principle that the child is an active learner. That's a very important key concept. The second similarity is that both agree that development declines with age. You reach a certain precipice in childhood, and there's a steady decline throughout the rest of one's life. The other similarity is they both agree that development is initiated by cognitive conflict. There has to be some type of conflict that can be mastered in order to fit along with their developmental theories. And the fourth and final similarity we're going to touch on is that both agree that egocentric speech, or speech to oneself within oneself, is essential for the child's cognitive development. On the other hand, we have 3 distinct differences, and they are: Piaget believed that development precedes learning. Vygotsky believed the opposite. He thought that learning has to occur before development. The second main difference, Vygotsky assumes that cognitive development varies across cultures, whereas Piaget believed it was to be universal across cultures. The third and final difference is Vygotsky placed extreme emphasis on speech that becomes more complex over time, whereas Piaget gave minimal attention to language at all in his cognitive theory. This is the biography, and this concludes my comparing and contrasting of the cognitive developmental theories of Piaget and Vygotsky. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you.